Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So in this tutorial we are going to see another topic on Kubernetes. So what we are going to do is we are going to write the pod manifest file, and we will see how we can create pods using the kubectl create command. Okay, so when you ask about pods are the basic building blocks of Kubernetes, and these are the simplest deployable unit in Kubernetes, right? So our containers run on the pods, right? So, but in general cases or in default scenarios, we usually don't create pods separately. So we create pods along with deployments or jobs, right? And then we export the pods or deployments as a service. Okay, but this is for your understanding, but this will help you how we can write a pod manifest file, which we'll go through what the API version kind, how we can write the metadata specs, how the containers can be called with the images. So we'll go through all those things. Okay, so as I said, in this lecture we'll see how to create static pods. Okay, so we cannot call it as a static, because I think static pods in Kubernetes have a different meaning. But what I mean by static is like it's like an independent pod which we are creating using a pod manifest file. Okay. So before we get into the topic, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe to my channel, like these videos, share and comment. So this will help us to getting into new levels, so your support is always needed. So I have a Kubernetes cluster which is running on minikube. Okay, so if I check the kubectl cluster info, okay, so you have Kubernetes master and kube DNS. Okay, so if you don't know how to create a minikube setup for your learning, just go through my videos on Kubernetes. I have shown how to create minikube setup, right? And I also show how to create deployments. We have spoke about what is pod services and those things, which will help you to get into the basics. Okay, so this is also a basics tutorial. So let me clear out this screen. Okay, so what we will do is if I see kubectl get pods, okay, so we don't have a, okay, it's kubectl get pods. Okay, we don't have any pods running in the default namespace, right? And it's the same for services and deployment and everything. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to create a pod manifest file. Okay, so in this location I don't have any file, so I'm going to create a file called pod manifest, okay, .yaml. Sure, it can be any name, okay, but I'm just giving a name as pod manifest. Okay, so I have to enter the details here. So before I do it here, probably what I will do is I will create it in a Sublime text, which is a text editor. So let me create it in the Sublime text. Okay, then I will copy the content into the machine where the Kubernetes is running. Okay, so always the manifest file start with API version. Okay, and it's going to be v1. So one thing you have to be very clear is like this v is capital, right, and it starts with the small letter a. Okay, so if you know any changes, if you put small v, it will not work. Okay, then it starts with kind. Okay, and the kind is the pod. Okay, so this will be the usually start. Now you may see this in other tutorial as well and upcoming. Okay, when we create services, it will be the similar start like API version kind. Okay, so the kind will change if it's a pod or it's a service or deployment or replica set, so it will change. So but for us it's a pod, so it's a capital P. Okay, So this is how it starts. Okay, now next is metadata. So as the name says, metadata means we have to give some details about what the pod is, right? So I'm going to give a name for the pod. So yeah, I'm going to call it nginx, okay, because I'm going to create this pod with the container of nginx image, okay. And I'm also going to add labels to it, okay. So this may not be much important here whether you create labels or not, it's not a problem, okay? But I will talk about these labels in the upcoming tutorials, and in the next tutorial where we talk about how to create a service from the pod, we will see how this label will be useful for us. Okay, for now I'll put environment as a label, okay, and it's dev, okay, and app as nginx. So these labels are key value pairs, okay, so it doesn't matter what you give. Maybe you can give like role admins or anything, it's like a key value pair, okay. So you can define what key value. So it's environment, I kept it as dev. If it's a production, you can give prod, okay. If it's an app, something else you want to give, you can give it, okay. So the next section is we have to put specs, okay. Okay, so under the spec I'm going to use containers, okay, and I'm going to name the container. It's going to be nginx web, okay. So again, the name how you want to give, you can give it. And the image, it's going to be nginx image and latest version, okay. So to start the pod, this is enough, but I just want to also add pods, okay. So this also we will see in the service tutorial, okay, why this pod will be useful when we convert this pod into as a service, okay. I'm going to give the name for the pod as nginx web pod, okay, and container pod. So again, you see this P is capital, okay, so it has to be clear. It's going to be 80, and the protocol is going to be TCP, okay. So we are done with the manifest file. So if you see API version v1, kind, pod, right, meta data, we have given the name for the pod, which is nginx. The labels is to label the pod, which we will use it for a lot of purpose, okay. And the spec, on the spec we are defining the container. So usually in default scenarios pod can run with one container. That's the normal scenarios we do, but there is way like you can run multiple containers also on a pod, okay. Now let's copy this into the our Kubernetes system. So let me copy the content for Kubernetes machine, and then we will see, okay. So we have copied the content to the file podmanifest.yaml file in the Kubernetes machine. So we have to save this, and you see again it's the same content we created in the Sublime text, okay. So let me save this. Okay, so we have saved file. If you see the pod manifest file, we have the content, right? So before I create the pod, okay, so again if I see kubectl get pods, we don't have any pods running, right? If I run kubectl explain pod, you can see it explained what is a pod, right? So you see kind is a pod and version is v1. So that's why the version v1 we are using that manifest file, okay, and the kind is a pod, right? And if you see pod is a collection of containers that can run on a host, okay. So it will give you the details a little bit here, like meta, spec, status, and all those things. Okay, so let me clear out the screen. Okay, now let me create the pod. Okay, so the command is kubectl create -f and the pod manifest file. Okay, so let me run this so you can see we got the message pod/nginx created, right? If I go get pods, you can see it's creating, right? Container is creating. If I run this again, you can see now it has created and it's running now, right? So the pod is created now. Okay, now the pod is created and we have a container running inside it, right? So the container is for nginx. So how we can access that? So the command is we can use kubectl exec. So if you have seen Docker, we usually use Docker exec, right? IT, and the pod name is nginx, right? And bash. Okay. So now if you see, I'm inside the pod. Okay. So where that nginx is running. So if I go and run curl localhost, you can see the message, right? Welcome to nginx. If you see this page, nginx servers is running successfully, working. That means our nginx container is running fine inside the pod, right? So usually your nginx that web page will be inside the location. So if we go to cd user share nginx/html, you have the file called index.html, right? So if I go and use index.html, you can see it's the same content, right? Welcome to nginx. This is what we get when we access this container, right? So let me edit this file. So if I go to index.html, okay, so we don't have a vi in this. So what I will do is I will install, let me update the container first. Okay, so I'll run apt update to get the latest package, and then I will install apt install vim so that I can get the vi editor. Okay, great. So that is also done. Okay, so if I go and use vi now, index.html, so we have edit option now, right? So let me change this content. Okay, so I'm going to delete this content and I'm going to add hello from the tips for you. Okay, thank you for your support. Okay, so let me save this file. Okay, so we have changed the content to hello tips for you and thank you for your support. Okay, okay, so I have changed it. So if I read this index file again, you can see the content has been changed, right? Welcome to nginx, hello from tips for you. Now if I run the curl again, curl localhost, you can see the message has changed, right? Welcome to nginx, hello from tips for you. So that means we changed the content in the container web page, right? So let me exit from the screen. Okay, so I am back into my Kubernetes minikube. Okay, if I log in again, kubectl exec-it, then the pod name is nginx and bash. Okay, and if I curl again, curl the local host again, you can see it's the same, right? So hello from. Now let me do one thing. Let me kill this container. Okay, I'm not killing the pod. Okay, pod is inside Kubernetes. I'm inside the pod now. I have a container running. So I'm going to kill this container. So for that I'm going to use kill one, means it will kill this container. Okay, and I'm exited from this, so I'm now inside the Kubernetes minikube. Okay, now if I see kubectl get pods, I have the pod still running, and if I log in to the pod again, nginx bash. Okay, now if I call the local host again, you can see the content has been changed. Welcome to nginx. If you see this, what does this means is like since I killed the container of nginx, it has recreated a new container for nginx as per our pod manifest file. So whatever edit we have done in the index file, or for example, if I see vi, it will not be there. So because we it's not installed in this machine anymore. So that's what thing I just wanted to show. So let me exit from this. Okay, let's also see kubectl describe the pod. Okay, describe pod in nginx. Let's see what you get. So if you see this, you can see the complete information about your pod, right? It's nginx default, it's running on minikube, right? And the labels we have set, right? So the complete details, it have a container running which is called nginx web, right? And the image, okay, and what the port we have set, right? And the current state is running of the container, right? And if you see, it's showing what the events it has happened, right? Like it says pull the image, it has created the container, started the container. So the complete details is there, right? So one more interesting command I think which will be helpful for you is like kubectl get pods. You get only the information like name, ready, status, restart, age, right? So if you want more details, what you just need to do is you just go for kubectl get pods -o and white. Now if you see, it gives you more information like what is the IP address, on which node it is running, right? So you get more information. But if you want like a YAML output, you can use YAML. So it will give you the complete output in the YAML format. See, so we are getting API version, kind, pod, nginx. So it's give you the complete details in the YAML format. So that's also a useful command. Now, just for your case, I just want to show like in the pod manifest file here, we have created like labels, we have ports and everything, right? We can also create pods without that. So let me create another manifest file or YAML file which I call pod httpd.yaml. okay, and again its API version is v1 and the kind is going to be pod. Okay, and metadata for the metadata I'm going to name it Apache. Okay, and spec so it's containers. Okay, the name of the container is Apache server. Okay, and the image is httpd, right? Okay, so this also is enough. Okay, so here what we mentioning is just the name for the pod, which is Apache, okay, and the container which should be running. So if I read the pod http://yaml, so this is how it should be. Okay, so with this one also you can create a pod. So kubectl create -f pod http://yaml. okay, so if I enter, you can see the pod is created. So let me get the pod kubectl get pods, you can see I have one more pod which is running, which is Apache, right? So similar, like if you want to log into this pod, you can use kubectl exec -it Apache and bash. So we are inside the container again. So inside the pod, and you see that the container, right? So if I go to cd hd docs, you can see the index.html, right? So that's all I just wanted to show in this tutorial. Okay, so we have seen how to create the pod manifest file, right? So with the kind pod, metadata, labels, specs, containers, right? How to access the container, what happens if you kill the container, kill the container, it's we create a new container, right? So in the upcoming tutorial, we will see how to create a service from this pod, deployment, replica sets, and more in the upcoming tutorial. Okay. So I hope this tutorial is informative for you, and I thank you for watching. And I will also request you to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share, and comment.